What is up, everybody? This is another podcast again. It's your boy Bill, and always with me,
Steve.
Good to see everybody. It has been a hell of a day, but I tell you what, that time is now here. We've talked about it, we've promoted it. It is going to happen. Coming on here shortly will be Hollywood Scream Queen, Victoria DeMar. Before we get all that started, though, let's give a quick shout out to our boy, Steve's Diesel Shop LLC. If you're in the Mercer County or surrounding county areas, you own a diesel, want to own a diesel, have any questions about diesel whatsoever, you call 724-269-0477. You will get the sweetest girl in the world answering the phone. She'll put you on the phone with somebody that'll get your vehicle back on the road, put you in the right direction. Guys, Steve's Diesel Shop, if you're seeing this picture right now, look it up on Facebook, Instagram, all social media. Awesome guy. So, that all being said, hell a day, long day. I could not wait to do this. Dude, I'm absolutely stoked. I don't know. How's winnings? You winning?
No, I'm looking up some stuff.
Oh, okay. Nothing like pregame.
Yeah.
Cram for the test. But figured out a few other things. I don't know. Like I said, it's just been a crazy day so far. It started off with me having my windshield replaced, and then I had to go and do the whole physical therapy thing, and then I had to still pack because as soon as we're done tonight, I am on the road, out of state, taking another mini vacation, getting away from it all, letting the missus go back and rediscover her roots. Should be a good time. All sorts of fun. So on that note, dude, you've had a pretty interesting day, haven't you?
Oh, shit's been nonstop, man. Nonstop busy. Didn't even get everything done I needed to, but we are here.
And that's all that matters. Yeah. Unfortunately, this weekend, we will not be going on Sunday unless we do an extreme insomniac. I don't know what time I'm going to be home. I don't know. We'll leave it up in the air just for the fun of it. But on to the task at hand. Let me go ahead and make sure I get on here real quick and adjust this. Make sure you do the same thing, homie.
Oh, yeah.
You go in. Let me find it. It's not there. I want to see this. And it's not letting me do it. Come on. I just want to edit the privacy so I can, everybody can see. Oh, that's you. That's why. I'm not allowed to do that. Obviously, we're still trying to get everything set. So let me do this. Put it on public. And now I can do this. And I will see everybody's comments. If you're wanting to join us live tonight, we do try and post the link on here. I'm not sure you can see it on Facebook as well, but we are going to open it up at some point for a face-to-face Q&A. What we'll do is you click on the link, join the studio, we bring you on, you say hello, you do your, you ask your question, and real simple, real informal. Let's keep it civil, guys. But most of the time I've learned that it's easier to do this when you link up on YouTube. So you'll get the same thing whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. Just the difference is, like I said, it's the whole link issue. Don't know why or what's going on that one. But anyways, seeing as how she is going to be on here any minute now, if you guys are not familiar with Victoria, she is a Hollywood actress and musician. She has been in quite a few films, a lot of them for Full Moon. She has worked with the likes of Ryan Reynolds and Steven Seagal. He's worked with actually a lot of the big name and other big name scream queens. So I think honestly,
She worked with DM fucking X.
she worked with DM motherfucking X. King Mojo. I've looked up some of his stuff. Awesome dude.
I have no
Good
idea.
stuff.
Not gonna lie.
But we right now are going to introduce Miss Victoria. I was able to download a little clip. Or should we go ahead and wait until she pops on and then
I'm sure she's already seen it.
I think a bunch of them? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's seen her and shit. Yeah, go ahead, show everybody else.
All right. So
Yeah, going on.
if you have yet to see Miss Victoria DeMar, we are allow us to give you a little preview of the fantastic lady you are about to talk to.
Hi. So, how you want to do this?
I'm every bit of her and more.
You better not drink that too!
I guess I'll just go play with myself.
Who is it?
Insane.
But I'm not crazy.
I want a lawyer.
I've always relied on the kindness of strangers. I'm not high.
Can say that again.
See? You didn't expect me to do that. Now that's scary.
And she loves it. Let's welcome to the stage Hollywood Scream Queen. Love this lady to death, Miss Victoria DeMar, and I made sure to say it properly this time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
So how's your hair looks great. I see you guys still adjusting.
Let it do its own thing. Fuck it. How are you guys
moved back to
doing?
Philly already, right?
What's that? Yes, sir.
Are
Yes.
you back in Philly yet?
I am.
I'm jelly.
So, anyways, yeah. Thanks for coming on here. This has been a
East Coast, bitch. East Coast.
oh. Bear in mind, you're in Steeler country here. I don't know what you guys are gonna do when my my Steelers stomp on you guys here in November.
We'll see about that.
Oh, we'll do a fair. I'll tell you what. You know, anytime you want to do a fair up bet, let's do it.
I only bet on myself.
So what have you been working on since you moved to Philly? Are you just still, getting used to the move and the transition?
I'm just transitioning.
Yeah, enjoying it.
Yes.
Did you miss Philly? I miss Philly.
I miss the East Coast in general.
Nice. So, for everybody that is still unfamiliar with your work, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my God, are you serious? I'm an award-winning actor and songwriter with over 150 films and TV shows out and about. I have films out. I have films coming out. I have films I'm working on. I have music out, coming out that I'm working on. Go to google.com and type in Victoria DeMar with a space between the E and the M. Go to imdb.com, go to victoriademar.com. There's all the information you'll ever need on victoriademar.com and imdb.com. But my website's more up to date than IMDb. That website's never up to date.
Yeah, I got that in some points of it. I was like, oh, she's doing this, and it was like a couple years ago. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I became. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There are like 6. There's 2 soundtrack credits, 1 composer credit, and 6 actors credits that are all projects that I've done that have not even been added to the database yet. So it's not up to date at all.
So I became first familiar with you in the Killjoy franchise as
Yeah.
Batty Boop,
Yeah.
and absolutely fell in love with that character. So
Thank you.
what can you came up with that character yourself, did you not?
Well, that character was written by filmmaker John Lechago with me in mind to play, because he had a lot of conditions and ideas for this role. John's an artist, a fine artist and a painter and a sculptor. He went to like an art conservatory. So he had this whole painting, like more than just a sketch of a character that he had an idea that he wanted to create. And so when he got the opportunity to join the Killjoy franchise with Killjoy 3 or Killjoy the Demon Clown, it is in some territories, in some places, like on Tubi and whatnot, when you rent it, it may not say Killjoy 3, it may say Killjoy the Demon Clown. He was like, yeah, I want to bring a posse back with Killjoy this time, and he's got to have a badass bitch by his side. So he had seen me in a film called Shadows, which was a dramedy, but I played this real saucy, sassy bit that he had seen at like a film festival. And I played this real saucy, sassy bitch in it. And he was like, oh, and had this like crazy idea to give Killjoy a girlfriend. Batty Boop, playing on the Max Fleischer character Betty Boop. And he had all these ideas of how he wanted her to look, because he wanted her to be painted with teeth on her body, and basically for the actor to be a canvas for him to just paint out this idea, this wild idea of this succubus demon from hell character. And so he wanted the actor to be fully nude, and that can be difficult to get actresses to agree to do that, because you can't be self-conscious at all. And so he wrote this character and this idea, and a colleague of mine had read the script first and said it was really good. You should definitely talk to him about it. And I loved it. And he had an idea for her to sound a certain way. He wanted her to move a certain way. I've studied dialects with Robert Easton, and so he wanted me to give her a sound and a dialect, of kind of like create one, combine a couple that he had in mind. I'm also a professional dancer, former member of the Joffrey Ballet Company when they were in New York City before they relocated to Chicago. So he wanted her to kind of saucer, santers around, kind of sashay around and swing her tail and be kind of graceful on her feet. So we worked with that, and he said, oh yeah, by the way, I want you to be fully nude so I can paint you from head to like shin, because she'll be wearing boots. And I was like, all right, how much? That's going to be a hell of a character to pull off. And I thought, I'm either going to go down as a little like iconic little niche little like thing that people are going to be like, oh, that's cool, or people are going to know me as the worst actress who ever lived.
So how long, you said you were fully nude in body paint. How long does it take to do head to shin body paint?
Yeah, we had the wig and contacts and everything. We had to glue on the tail. I had gloves and the boots and the knee highs. It was 5.5 hours every day standing, with a team of anywhere from 2 to 4 other artists working on me. And then to get out of it, we shot a 12-hour day, and then to get out of it was about 2.5 hours just to get out of it as well, half the time approximately. So I worked 20-hour days on those 3 films, because I was in 3 of the 5 of the franchise.
Do you ever like fully get out of the makeup, or do you like still go home and like still find like green on your bed sheets, like it's still there for
Absolutely. Like it was literally a 2.5 hour process to get out of it. About an hour and 45 minutes of that was in the shower with another artist scrubbing me. And when I got home, I
I
took
think she
a
froze up on
shower.
us. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. Did I freeze
She'll
up?
be back.
Has it come back yet?
Oh yeah, you're back. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I got home, I took another shower.
Now, did I read it right that it only took like 8 or 9 days in production for that one for Killjoy 3?
Yeah, I think it was 9. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought I read there.
So you wow. That was a lot of work, and you said 20-hour days. So
Yeah,
to stand there
and
for 5, go ahead.
5.5 hours. Yeah, like you had to stand because there was so much. I mean, I had to stand like legs spread out, arms spread out, like jumping jack style. So I had to get really comfortable. I brought my yoga mat in. I brought my Natural Born Killers soundtrack CD produced by Trent Reznor in, and I just made the whole makeup team, listen to me blasting that. And I just kind of treated it as it was torturous, and this is a demon succubus from hell. So I just attributed it to the character and just put all the angst and frustration of doing that. And it was kind of like doing yoga for 5.5 hours, and because I couldn't lock my knees or whatever and had to breathe and all that stuff, and you have to hold still and move certain ways and hold that position and whatnot. So on top of that workout, I had to work out because I was fully nude and I didn't want it to be self-conscious of anything jiggling or like my gut hanging out. So I had someone on like gut detail that if they saw like my stomach sticking out, that they would yell like off camera, Victoria, gut. So like I wasn't having this big like stomach hanging out on camera. So I didn't have wardrobe to cover it. So it was quite a process, and then I had to go home and like unwind for a bit, but then I had to prepare for the next day and then crash and then wake up and work out before the car came to get me at like 4:30, or because I had to get to the studio at 4:45 a.m. So I woke up at 3 to work out.
Oh shit.
So that particular character though, it got bigger than you expected it to be.
It sure did.
Did you expect to do like 2 or 3 other movies afterwards, or?
No, I was just like, oh, this is an awesome job. It was a co-production, the third one with Ace Studios, so I got a chance to go to China and shoot that, and Hong Kong, and like we flew into Hong Kong and everything. We shot on the mainland, and like that was an experience. And going on a 15-hour plane ride with Killjoy, Tran Haga and I together, and he's like reading like Pulp Fiction novels and like hanging out and whatnot and like listening to music and like whatever. And I was sitting there with my script like studying, and he's like, "What are you doing?" It was fun. So it was like great. It was a job. And then when it turned into like, it was like all of a sudden there were more. And then there was merchandise, t-shirt and action figure, and a new action figure of actually Killjoy's is just a doll, the new doll of the original one was an action figure where his hands moved, his arms moved. But the one that I think is actually sold out now, I don't think they have it anymore, doesn't move, but he's standing on a platform holding his mallet, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, there's comic books. It's amazing. People are getting tattoos of her on their body. It's incredible.
You got one.
Yeah, I got one of a photo of myself that the set photographer had taken me on set on the 5th and final film, Killjoy Psycho Circus, and so I got that one on my arm.
So what did you have like a particular experience? I mean, how hard was it? First off, working in makeup, you knew you had a short time to do this movie. Give us an experience. What stood out the most for you? What's an awesome memory?
Being in China and like just shooting. I kind of had like an outer body experience, like the first take of most of the film, which a lot of people don't know, I really overly prepared for this. So like 98% of that performance was one take in all 3 of the films, because I was so prepared, and I like by the time I came onto set, I was her for the whole day until I retired to my dressing room for lunch for 30 minutes to unwind alone. And I just went so hardcore balls out that when I watched that film, I was like, yeah, because you know how many takes that you do. And he had asked me to drop the accent in one line in Killjoy Circus when I tell Killjoy that I love him. And I didn't like it, and a lot of people didn't like it and were confused. And even my mother was like, "Oh, your voice was different." And I'm like, "No, he asked me to drop the accent for 'I love you' because I love you," and just be like flat, normal, just a Victoria voice or whatever comes out, no accent. And I disagreed with that note, but it's not my call, it's his. So there were two takes on that, but the rest of it was all like one take. So I kind of was just having these outer body experiences where I was just her, I was just completely and entirely Batty Boop. And it paid off because a lot of people believe that she's a real entity and don't understand that that's an actor playing that, and that's like a job. But but some actors get me like too, though. Like I'll see an actor's performance and I'll be like, that person's real. Wow, how'd they get a person like that for that role? That person's really like that. But it's like, duh, that's an actor. You got me. So I love it when people are like, no, they think Batty Boop is like a real entity, like she's like a real living being. So I think that was the greatest experience of like really, you're supposed to live your work, and I really did with that character. I didn't go kill anybody, but other than that, I was her to everybody in the crew and everything the whole time. I just completely stayed her in the character of Batty Boop the whole time. So I left the studio at night.
So
And then I
the
went home in the
accent,
back of the car and cried the whole way home.
the accent is absolutely phenomenal. How did you come up with that accent?
She was in
Thank
school
you, John.
in New York.
John asked for something like really specific. At first, he wanted Cockney and or something like British, and then I was like, I don't think that makes sense to go British. So and then he was like, well, something, you're from the Northeast, something like, I don't know, Bronx or Brooklyn or Staten Island or something like that. I'm like, well, those are three different places. They all three have this different, even though that's an accent, there's a different dialect in each of those regions. So I was like, all right. And he's like, well, I'll just make something up, or I'll just create something. I mean, you know how to do that. It's all in the vowels. So I just rewrote the entire script and all Batty's lines in Batty language, basically changing all the vowels. And I just kind of created her own Battyese.
So, like I said, I first became familiar through the Killjoy movies, but then I also discovered that wasn't the first time you had to go full on makeup like that. You did a movie called Bioslime. There was another name for that movie, and I can't remember.
I think it was Contagion in some territories. They called it Contagion.
I think so, yeah.
So how was your experience with that? I mean, what was that one like?
That was creepy shit.
That was good stuff. I like that one too.
That was fun. The funnest days on that were being in the Beast of the Belly, where I was like naked, like the creature had swallowed me, and I was in the creature's belly, and then I become the creature, and I go back into the room and seduce Vincent Blanchot, rather. It was just a hard day, really fun day, and they actually had me strung up there, and I don't do so well with heights. So again, I was trying to just use that uncomfortableness in your job, just the horrible experience of what you're having to do your job, just to put it in the character, just use it. Because the character I played in that movie was kind of a bitch. So I was like, oh, I can totally use this. But it wasn't as detailed as Batty Boop. They put just, that was about an hour. Where they had to glue certain things on is where it really took more time. But and then like the tentacles and stuff like that, those were put in post by digital effects. But I just think Batty Boop is unique because of all the detail and how John really created that design originally by hand. And I mean, I think that he should sell the original drawings and paintings of her. I have still the first original photo of me in the first makeup test that we did, that Tom Devlin from the Face Off series on FX had done the original paint job on me of the first photo of Batty Boop when we started to do makeup tests. And it stayed pretty much the same. The only thing that didn't make it to the screen were the wings.
Still phenomenal movie. I mean,
what about the voice of Bioslime? Was that you? Tell me that wasn't you.
In Bioslime, it was me, and then it was also Ron Fitzgerald together, and so I did my version and he did his version, and John morphed the two voices together when I played the creature's voice in BioSlime. It was actually two actors, me and Ron Fitzgerald.
So aside from that, let's move forward a little bit. How about Hanukkah?
Oh,
That was a pretty star-studded cast right there.
I know.
How was I mean, that was like the who's who of, you know, horror icons, honestly. So what was that experience like?
The best part of that movie was meeting and becoming friends with Charles Flesher, who played the priest. Charles Flesher is best known for the voice of Roger Rabbit, and he also does the voice of Benny the Cab in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and two of the Weasels, I believe. He's an incredible voice actor, and you should hear Batty Boop and Roger Rabbit go out to lunch and talk to each other from across the table. It's quite fun. Charles is an incredible artist, incredible musician, incredible painter also. So the best part of that was meeting him and working with him, and his confidence in me and my work. It was a very they basically just tortured me in that movie. Amanda just got completely abducted and completely freaking tortured, and they were really happy with my work. I was really happy with my work in that, and I just it was just such a blessing to meet someone who I was such a fan of, Charles Flesher, who became a fan of mine. It was crazy. That's crazy when that happens.
There had to have been a Batty Boop / you know, Roger Rabbit collab at some point in there, just for the fun of it.
You know, he was talking about at the premiere, like that they were doing something. They were talking about doing something in a television something, and I was like, oh my god, would that be crazy to have a Batty Boop appearance and whatnot? And then I didn't hear anything else about it. But Charles is a dear friend. We've spent some holidays together. He's really wonderful, and I can't believe that. You know, like you're like a kid growing up and like I love Roger Rabbit. Like that movie is like one of my favorites, and then like to meet the actor who voices that character and is so incredible and is in so many other films is so amazing. I mean, he's a part of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He's part of the Back to the Future franchise. I mean, Charles Fletcher is amazing. So that was the best part of working on that film, was becoming friends with Charles, or Chaz.
Now you got to, you know, another person in that one I believe you got to work with was Sid Haig. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And for all people that don't know who Sid Haig is, I mean, you must be under a rock right now. He became really big as Captain Spaulding. So you actually got to work with him shortly before, you know, rest in peace. Yeah. What was it like working with that man? I heard he's a phenomenal person to work with.
Well, the Hunted Killer, who was, you know, allegedly supposed to be him, was actually played by a different actor. I didn't work on the days that Sid was there. That was his final film, so I feel unbelievably grateful for the rest of my life to actually be in Sid Haig's final film, The Godfather of Horror. So it's just unbelievably amazing. But you know, some people think it's some of his best work in that film as well. But he's a class act. We weren't on set the same days, so even though we're in the film together, I did not get a chance to work with him. Even though he's the Hunted Killer in it, but again, that was a different actor, a different stand-in playing that role.
So we've talked about, you've done a lot of horror movies. Prototype, I just watched that the other day. I saw, you know, how was working on that one? I mean, what you know, I know you're most known for your horror movies, but you know, people don't realize, like, you've been in comedies, you've been in drama, you've been in sci-fi. You know, when it comes to, you know, which ones stand out for you the most? Where do you excel at?
I really love comedy, but I also really love the like serious drama, like playing Amanda. But I really also love like the really weird character roles where like you don't expect that it's me or it looks nothing like me, as far as it is from me as possible. Those are my favorite roles. I really liked playing Pam Polinsky in The Push, who was just a hot mess falling down drunk. That was really, really fun. Amanda was really amazing. I loved working on the prototype. I remember the prototype very well. I won some awards for my little role in that, and I got actually doing a stunt and falling down. I actually really got hurt doing my own stunt on that, so I remember the prototype quite well. But I love Marcelo. He's amazing, and he paid for that film from waiting tables. So unbelievably, it took him many years to accomplish it. And every film festival, every event that he enters it in, it wins something. It's won more awards than any film that I've ever been in, and all those digital effects and everything like are very expensive, and he paid for all that like out of his own pocket. So it was really, I have a lot of respect for him. It took him like 20 years, but I have a lot of respect for him that he had a goal and he did it and he finished it, and it wins everything he enters it into, it wins. I don't know why, but it does.
Now, on to, outside of acting, you're also a pretty accomplished musician as well.
Thank you.
So, where can people I've heard it on SoundCloud, I've heard it on Amazon. Your style mixes so many different genres, and the only way I can describe your music is like it's almost like a whirlwind. I mean, it's so much fun at times to listen to this stuff because you have, I say stuff, but you know what I mean, to listen to your work. Like I said, you take you'll take 80s and mesh it with country and blues, and it's just what was your inspiration into music?
I love music. I would say music is my most, aside from creating characters, creating music is like my most favorite thing to do in the world. Really, truly my passion, I think, the most. I was inspired as a kid by my dad and my uncle just playing acoustic guitars and harmonizing and singing like Kenny Rogers songs. And just like blown away by like, oh my God, what is that song? Who wrote that? Who is that about? Like, who's Reuben Chain? Like, like, how did you learn to do that? Oh my God, I want to do that. So I just love music and sound, and I'm just not married to any one kind of genre because I really do love all like genres. Like I even have a classical station programmed in my car. Like Beethoven's my favorite composer. I really love classical music. I really love all kinds of music. So I just love I mean, I've had record label executives listen to my work and go like, is this the same girl? Like, is all the same? Like, how do we market this? You know what I mean? Like, they don't know what to do with it. Because I just write, it's the same girl. It's just at a different day, just rocking to a different sound. So I just, I mean, my inspirations bounce all over the place, from Madonna to Prince back in the 80s, Michael Jackson, of course, George Michael, to in the 90s and early 2000s, Trent Reznor. You go back to the 50s, throw in Patsy Cline, go into the 70s, throw in Karen Carpenter. I mean, Led Zeppelin is my favorite band of all time. I couldn't possibly choose a favorite artist or a favorite sound. There are just so many. So I explore that in my work. And my mentor was Kim Fowley, who had created the Runaways. And he was so eclectic in everything that he did. And I just learned how to make records from him. And so I just, you when you learn something and it just sticks, and then that kind of formula of just like, I'm not signed to market and to make any one kind of product, so I can just do whatever I want.
I do want to give a quick shout out to everybody that is we've got quite a few messages already. Everybody's saying hey, hello, and we see you guys. Now, your music, you collabed with one of our favorites, and that would be
DMX, motherfucker.
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
us how did that collab come up?
We were in a film together called Beyond the Law in 2019, and I also had a song in the film, and he did not. And I was joking about how I was on the soundtrack and you were, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, I'm gonna be throwing down some mixtapes," and I was like, "Oh, I want to submit." And he was like, "Yeah, what are you gonna submit?" And I said, "Well, I'll find something." And I had like a hip hop dance like track off my fourth album. That fourth album was literally titled "Fuck You," and there was a track on it called Flipside, and I had one track called Bang that was like a novelty like rap song, and then I had another song that was really like a hardcore dance beat to it, but it had a hip hop vibe to it, and I was like, well, good Lord, I'm not a rapper, like I don't know what the hell to submit to this, so I submitted those two songs, and he liked Flipside, and somehow I made the tape of there were 58 artists, there were 53 men and 5 women, and I was the only white woman over 35 that was only white artist on the whole mixtape, but it was really fun and amazing. And then he put it up on like top mixtapes and DatPiff and SoundCloud, and my track for some reason, which was number 15 on volume number 1, he put up 2 volumes, got like a really lot of streams. I forget on which app. Like in the first like 15 minutes or something, in the first like half an hour. And he's like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "No, oh my God, they like it. They don't know that they're streaming the white chick." And he was like, "I want to do a feature on this, like in the intro, because there was like an instrumental intro." And I was like, "Oh my God, how much?" Because features with high profile artists like that can be $5,000 and $10,000 and up. So I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I have the budget for that. And then he gave me like a really good rate, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then it kept getting like more and more streams, and he was like, you should write more. And then like I was writing some like pop, like the pop hip hop rap, that like the really cheesy commercial stuff that like a lot of the female artists are cranking out, and you hear all over the radio. So I was doing a song kind of like, not like mocking it, but kind of like a novelty song with that kind of vibe and energy. And he was like, this is really good. This is really catchy. Like, this is the shit that they're playing on the radio. And he was like, you should keep writing this. And then I wrote another, I was like, really? Okay. And then like I wrote another one. He's like, yeah, let me get on that one too. And I was like, are you serious? And I was like, how much? Oh my God, I don't know if I can afford you to, because the rate usually goes up when you work a second time. I know how that game's played. And so he was like, nah, we'll keep it the same rate. And so I shelled it out. And then there he was, a second time. He's had 2 features on 2 of my songs, Flipside and Never Try. And unfortunately, he passed away before he could put up on his Instagram page. He was going to do this whole post of this on his stories of me and on the mixtape and promoting Flipside, and then Flipside featuring Earl Simmons, because I couldn't put it up digitally after he died. All the legalities and all the lawyers and everything, the digital sites would not accept his stage name, Darkman X. So we had to go with Earl Simmons, which is fine, which is his birth name. Doesn't help any of my sales because people don't know who the hell Earl Simmons is, but everybody and their mother knows who DMX is. But the saddest thing for me was that he didn't get to hear the final cut of Never Try, which is one of my favorite songs that I've done. And so in a far left genre, pop rap, hip hop track that has another artist from Detroit named Wojo Kim Wojo, who's amazing, who was also on the mixtape. It was an international mixtape. He had people from cities all around the nation and a few cities in Europe, in Wales, France, Germany, and England, I believe. I was the artist from LA, so I felt really great.
Now you did, what was it? The song for what was the Van Damme movie?
Yes,
Oh,
Darkness
it's
of
right
Man.
there on the top of the page. Yeah.
Say again?
Darkness of Man was the title of the film. The song's called Just Hold On.
That was pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's a ballad off my first album, actually, from 2013. Yeah, you never know what the producer or the filmmaker is going to pick.
What was the song you came out? I think it just came out. I don't know. It was like March or something of this year. What was your latest song? I like that one probably best out of all of them.
Oh man, I don't even know. You'd have to go back and look. It could have been Take Another Look. I don't know.
Ooh, I think that is it.
Yeah, that's a track off my 5th studio album, Righteous Cunt. That's available on SoundCloud to stream for free. SoundCloud.com. Righteous Cunt.
And that's cunt with a K.
That's cunt with a K, baby. That's it.
So on that note, let's go ahead. We'll take a short break. And speaking of
Righteous Cunt.
we're gonna do Never Try featuring DMX and Mojo King. And then when we come back, we will go ahead and post the link and open it up to people to go ahead and come on here and kind of do a quick Q&A if you're cool with that.
Woo! All right, let's do it.
So this is Miss Victoria DeMar, Never Try.
You already know what it is, baby. Grand champ.
Righteous cunt. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. All those cocks at the top, even the one king of pop. You think those people didn't work for it, didn't slave for it, didn't starve for it? All those stars that you see on that phone that you got stuck at nothing for the shot. You think those people didn't cry for it, didn't pray for it, didn't pay for it? What the fuck, man? Get a grip. Don't trip.
Hey, yo, what up?
It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed.
What you squandering for? You should be laundering dope. You rocking designer clothes, kids ain't got Christmas gifts though. You need to work a bit more, but you still had to get go. You need to get a new job, what you still working there for? Or you so complacent with all of this basicness. I guess you like being a basic bitch. Instagram, you the top dog, but you still live in a basement, bitch. I work for this, blood, sweat, and tears. You afraid to work, you just sweat and fear. I've been at this over 10 years, and you just started, so you not here.
It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. You make your own way towards that big payday. Can't stop no matter what they say. Don't matter if you're straight, by trends or gay. What the fuck, man? Play the game.
Play the
Shut
game.
the fuck up. Excuses.
Excuses, useless. You gotta get out here and do this. Stressing, depression, make me meditate like a Buddhist. But I don't give up, so I only get stronger. My life's an anime, comic book manga. Problems try to strike me down like monsters. I grab the mic, stab to slice like katanas.
It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed. It don't matter how many mouths you have to feed. Those who squander opportunity won't succeed.
Top dog.
Don't make me get my claws out.
Oh, meow.
DMX.
Personally, you know, for someone saying they don't know how to rap, I thought you did pretty good there, honestly.
Thank you.
Now, were you reading it or you're just going with the flow? You memorize it? I'd have to read a rap.
No, I write everything out and I read it as I'm recording.
That'd keep me from fucking up. I'd have to read. Like karaoke, I gotta read it or I'll fuck it up.
Yeah.
So on
most recording artists, they read it unless you're just doing a freestyle.
Gotcha. Smart. Wise.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and post the link and invite people to come on live and get to meet this beautiful woman.
Thank you. Yay.
And ask your questions.
Ooh.
So until we get there, outside of music and outside of stuff, if I'm not mistaken, you're an animal lover.
I am very much so.
Have you hit up the what you said you were looking into a something out in that area, correct?
Yeah, there's the Brandywine Valley SPCA, which has like a 93% release rate. They're an unbelievable facility. They have locations in Pennsylvania, all throughout Delaware and Maryland. Of course, everybody knows the SPCA. There are locations all over the nation, potentially the world. But the Brandywine Valley facility is just an unbelievable place where a 93% release rate is pretty unbelievable, and it's a live release rate. They take in dogs, cats, other exotic animals. They are a no-kill shelter. They will keep the animal until it is adopted or it passes on. Their adoption fees are extremely reasonable. So, and it includes so much, and it also includes follow-up visits. And so if anyone is looking to adopt any kind of exotic animal, a kitten, an adult cat, a senior cat, a puppy, an adult dog, or a senior dog, go check out the Brandywine Valley SPCA online. They have pictures of all the animals that they have available and ways you can contact and ask questions. And they're open Tuesday through Sunday.
So there you go. We're gonna bring to the stage the traveling trucker herself, my sis.
Whew, I was just gonna ask about her.
And there she is. She's gonna give us the horn and everything.
Hi.
Hi, nice seeing you again. I will be stopping. I just in construction, you know. But it's so nice to see you again.
Thank you. I was gonna ask about you. Where's your sister? And there you are.
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oh
And I was super excited, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, open the line, open the line, open the line. Oh my! But you know, I had a lot of questions for you, and they've touched on a couple of them, and I like the hair. I love the hair today.
Uh-oh.
Love the hair today. But has your day been good? Has your move been well?
Everything's going really well. Thanks.
Did you have jet lag really bad for like 2 days?
Yeah, it's an adjustment. It's always an adjustment.
Anytime I've flown across the country, I'm burned. I'm just like, ugh. But I'm a night person, so. But I'm curious. Have you ever worked with CGI? Like you had mentioned digital. Have you worked with CGI at all?
Yes.
Is it harder or easier to work with CGI?
Well, they just put it in after production. They put it in post-production. So generally, I don't. I've already done my work at that point, and then they fill in around. So I don't have to work with it on set. The only really things that actors are doing in post-production is coming back and doing additional dialogue recording. If a line is flubbed or something with sound and you want to get it clear, you'll come back in and record it. So I'm always fascinated by what they do with effects that enhance whatever was done physically on set. I think it's amazing.
Does it work like you're talking to nothing or you're interacting with nothing? And then all of a sudden you watch it and it's like, oh, look, that's there.
Yeah, there was a whole scene in Killjoy Psycho Circus that was between 4 actors, me, myself, Killjoy, and one of the other devil's minions, the devil and one of the devil's minions. And we shot all 4 of those singles of the actors doing their part, since we weren't all on camera together at the same time, on all different days. And when you watch the scene, it looks like we're all in the same room together. So we just had actors stand in to give us eye line, where this is the person where they're standing and this is the person that you look at. And somehow through the genius of editing and post-production, it looks like we're all in the same room together, and it works really well.
That's amazing. I've always thought to myself, especially with like Avengers movies or, you know, something where it's an inanimate object, I'm like, how do these actors do this? I mean, because I feel like it would be easier to act having like a physical response. It's easier to, oh, that's the expression this thing's going to give me, kind of thing.
Right.
So I was curious about that in comparison, because you've done it both ways.
Yeah, they'll just have an actor stand in on set so that you have eye lined and do the dialogue with you.
Oh, that's cool. Super cool. Now, how did you get into acting, like in all of these? I mean, you said you were in ballet. My goodness, You are an all around superstar here. Come on now. Um, how did you like when you were a little girl? Were you like, Mom, I'm going to be an actress when I'm rich and famous? Did you take dance classes as a child and acting classes, and or did you have something else in mind? Like, were you going to be a nurse, and then it was like, oh, well, acting's fun too.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna jump in here. Can I jump in here real quick?
yeah.
And tell me if I'm correct or not, Victoria. But you actually had dolls like Star Wars dolls and shit like that, and you used to kind of make up your own movies with your dolls, right?
Yes, I did. That's exactly right. As far back as I can remember, I was making up characters in my bedroom mirror, my bathroom mirror, and playing with my action figures. I had all the Star Wars from the original Star Wars action figures, and I had the Donnie and Marie records in my room, singing to the records and pretending that I was Donnie or Marie. No, I guess I made my girlfriend be Donnie and I was Marie. And yeah, just ever since I could possibly remember, my mother was a ballet dancer, so she used to take me to some rehearsals and classes for her performances, and I'd watch. So she'd take me with her instead of getting a babysitter, and I'd watch on the sidelines. And then when she'd come back in the dressing room, I'd be like, "Mom, check this out," and she'd be like, "Wow, you're actually doing the exercises, and that's quite good." And I begged her to death before I'd even started studying, because she wouldn't let me start studying until I was 7. I was 6 years old, begging to audition for her big performance with her ballet company, and she was like, you've never even studied, you're not a member, like, this is ludicrous, you can't audition for this." But I was so relentless that she was like, "Fine," and let me audition, and they hired me to be a little part in this little ballet. And so and then I was all like, "See," I was like, I'm a star, ready. I was like, I like, you couldn't get me away from the television, like just movies. And then when there was a video store in my little town, it was just called the video store. You couldn't get me out of the video store. And I'd make a beeline right to the horror section, because they always had the best artwork with all the covers. They used to have like the original covers of all the movies up, and oh my God, looking at all that, and just like the dream to just be on screen. When I was a little kid, I just wanted to get into that television, because I was like, those are my people. I just want to get in there. I got to get in there. How do I get in there? So it was as far back as I could remember. I wanted to be in movies, and I wanted to be dancing on stage. I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to be in magazines. I wanted all of it.
Now, did you so how did it you built that up since you were a child? Now, did you graduated high school and you were like, okay, I'm flying to LA, I'm going to be an actress?
Now, if I understand, it wasn't easy. There was actually a point where you were living out of your car, and you had like your portfolio and your pamphlets and shit like that, like, and you wanted to give up.
I did. I went to New York University out of college and studied theater arts and broadcast journalism. And when I graduated, I actually went to Montreal, where I was dancing in some dance troupes and French Canadian dance troupes in Montreal. And then when I came back to New York, I had auditioned for a film, and I was like, "This is it," because I had done a couple little things in New York. And I was like, the movies are all made in California, like 25 years ago they were. And so out I went, and I couldn't find a place to live. I was living in my car. I had a beeper at the time, where I was like getting the Backstage West like paper from the 7-Eleven with a fucking beeper, because I was in my car.
It was Nextel for me.
I'm finding like payphones. Believe it or not, we were using beepers and payphones, because if I got a page, then that was one of my headshots and resumes that I had sent out. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm getting an audition, or I'm getting a job." So it was very hard, slow beginning, but eventually I created a career, and I'm very grateful.
Challenging as fuck, and you stuck with it.
Yes. I never had a plan B. This was my life. I have lots of goals, and I just feel like if you like, plan B can be counterproductive, because then you're like, "Oh, I have this fallback. But if you have no fallback, and like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, like, yes, I'm educated. I can do other things. We can all do lots of different things. You can do whatever you want, really, whatever you put your mind to. And I just was relentless and was like, this is how I want to live my life. And so I was going to do it no matter what the result was. I was going to continue to try until I die.
Now, you've worked with so many different, who's. Is there one person that kind of stuck out that really kind of helped you along the way, that kind of, that you've enjoyed working with the most, that's really taught you, or kind of molded you, guided you?
Nope, nobody molded me or guided me in anything. I created everything myself. I've met a lot of really amazing people.
That
I
is
respect, but nobody did dick for me. I did it all on my own.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's just, I say that repeatedly only because so many people need to have that motivation. They need to see that dreams can come true. And if you work and you stay focused, you can do anything. So I love that you said that.
You can. It's the key is just to not fold. I mean, if you want to win a game, you don't leave the field until you win. I mean, you're never going to win the game if you're sitting on the bench or you leave the stadium. So I just have stayed in the game for a really long time, and I just really love it. And the key to achieving a goal is to not give up on it, not quit on it, no matter how long it takes you, until you achieve that goal, whatever it is.
Right. Right. I'm going to follow my brother's request right now, and I am going to stop and sit still so you guys don't have to look at half my steering wheel.
That's what makes it unique. We've got another person on here that is like to join and ask something. This is a friend of mine. Let's say hello to Billy.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy.
There he goes. His mic's muted for some reason.
Oops.
Can you hear us, brother?
To unmute your mic, sir.
There we go.
Oh, there she is.
There, okay. He had to unmute his own mic. I'm sitting there like clicking the button.
I know, I was about to do that too. Hi, Billy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for William and all asked me to join too.
All right.
Did you have a question, brother?
Not really, to be honest with you. Just excited to be on and listen.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Billy.
Hey, I'm an honest guy. What can I say?
Love it.
How long have? Oh, here's a question. How long have you been a scream queen? I should say.
Oh, Mary. Since 2006.
Wow. What's some of the biggest, I would say, shows you've been in? Or
I would say the most well-known franchise is the Killjoy franchise, where I played Betty Boop. I think worldwide that has the largest audience. It's a feature film franchise of 5 films in the series.
Okay.
I'm in 3 of the 5.
All right, cool.
I like Patches. I liked when you were Patches.
Patches was a good one.
Patches
That
cracked me the fuck up with the pterodactyl and shit like that eating your eyeball. That shit cracked me up.
Thank you. I did that whole speech was the audition, and that eye patch with the cross on it and everything, that was mine, that I created, and I went in on the audition that way, and with the meat cleaver and everything that I had from a Scream Queen event where they gave us these little
like a
meat
2-inch
cleavers.
fucking meat cleaver.
Yeah, and it was like a little meat cleaver, and I put some like red lipstick on the edges of it to look like it was a little rusty, bloody. And when I went into the audition, I did that voice or whatever the fuck it was, and I had like the meat cleaver, and I did that whole thing with the eye, and I had the patch on, and the guy was like, "You're hired." It was awesome. And that was a fun little comedy, and so I really love, I think, the comedies, because the Killjoy franchise is really a horror comedy franchise. So I think it's the horror comedies and the comedies I think I really love. or like but those character roles, like Patches is a real niche, like a real character, but that film genre is a comedy, so sometimes you get to play those great characters in silly comedies.
No, I'd read somewhere that like you like to play challenging roles. Like you kind of look for like someone like a disabled role or like
yes,
something like that. Like you accept that challenge. Like why?
I really excel at those challenging characters of just creating someone as far from myself as possible, and just I like my favorite part of being a little kid was bedtime stories, and my mother would actually read me a bedtime story, and that was the best times to go to bed. And she'd be like, pull down a story from my massive bookshelf, and I'd always pull down the same one. For some reason, I love that Sleeping Beauty story, and she'd do all these voices and stuff like that in it. And I think as a little kid, that really made me want to be an actor, because I'm imagining all these characters and what they would look like, and how, the choices that I'm making and how they would be. So when I read a script, when I read something that's so specific of someone that has, something, is half blind or half deaf, or they have some like, physical ailment or whatever, I'm like, that is the most interesting character for me to play. It's very far from myself, and it's the most creative, because you just can build this person from the feet up, basically from the page, and you just create that three-dimensional living, breathing, moving, being for the camera. And it's just, you get to live as this completely different person. It's just such a therapeutic step outside yourself.
So being that it's like such a far step from yourself, like do you have to research, or like do you have to like if you're gonna play a disabled person, do you like go hang out with disabled people for like a week or something like that, and like get in character and kind of feel the empathy of them? Or
yes, absolutely. You have to speak to those people who live that way, because acting is living, not acting. When you see someone who's doing bad acting, it's because they're acting. They're not living. They're not being as a real human being. So you don't believe that person's a real human being. So you have to consult with people and talk to people and feel how they're feeling, and what it feels like to have be in a wheelchair, or what it feels like to have been raped, or like what it feels like to have been, be a battered wife and be beaten, be in that terror all the time. You have to do your research when you're doing something specific, where you're creating a real human being here.
All right. Hey, Billy, I appreciate you joining us, brother, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up a spot for a couple other people. So,
all right, brother. Well, nice meeting you guys. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Guys, have a good one. Have a good evening. Later.
We'll see you, brother.
Peace.
May I ask something?
Yes.
You had mentioned it took 9 days to film that. So that's actually, to me, when you were getting, what is it, Killjoy, where you were getting the body paint. Okay, first off, you are a goddess, because I would be like, oh, that tickles, stop. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're a badass. But you said it was 9 days. It was 9 days of filming, 8 or 9 days. Like when it's a short time period like that, do you make a lot of friends on set? Like when it's a long time period, or like lifelong friends where, I mean, of course or is it like that stuffy, awkward, we all work in the same building, but when we go home, we don't talk?
Yeah, I don't make a lot of friends on set. I mean, I'm not rude to everyone. I'm extremely thankful and grateful. I say hello to all the department heads and assistants, and I'm extremely respectful and grateful to the crew. The crew generally always sticks together, and the cast kind of sticks together. I love to mingle with the crew. I think that they're amazing. We couldn't do a damn thing without them. But I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to do a job. So I just come in and do my job. People will kind of come and want to hang out on set and talk, and that's not the place to network. That's not the place to talk and hang out and socialize. They're really long days, people doing really hard work, and there needs to be focus on the job at hand. So I don't come in and make a lot of friends. I like to convene in my dressing room. I like to stay away from people so I don't get sucked into any drama that might be going on. And if people think that ill of me or badly of me because I want to do that, and I just want to stick to myself and do my job and stay in my dressing room. I come out and I do my work, and then I go home. I'm not there to have a good time. I'm there to do a really hard job. So I don't appreciate the actors that want to go and just like hang out and socialize on set. Like, this isn't a movie. We're making a movie, and making movies is one of the hardest things in the world to do.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, because there's a lot of like you see interviews with right now the Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. They're like, oh yeah, we're buddies, and it's like, okay, did that's what I was kind of wondering, or is that more promotional kind of thing?
Yeah,
So
the people like on the A-list stars like that who get, are making $20 million per job, and all that camaraderie and yeah, we're so much fun and all this and that. Like, they're like they'll take 8 or 9 days to shoot one scene.
oh wow.
So they have months and months and months and years to do things because they have much bigger budgets, and bigger budgets allows you more time. And so there's not a lot of goofing around on B movies and indies because you just don't have the time, you don't have the money. But all that, oh yeah, we're such big buddies doing all this, that's all publicity, that's all promotion, that's all to suck the viewers in to go buy a ticket and go see the movie.
I wanted to ask that simply because if anybody's watching a younger, somebody that's aspiring to be an actress or an actor, they might have that illusion because
Right.
that's what's thrown out at us is, oh, well, it's all play and fun,
It's
and
not all play.
and it's not. It's a lot of work. It's a serious business. So, speaking of money, not to be like really, I guess what was I going to ask about? You were saying, how did you learn about the music industry? Like, did you make friends or did you do your research? Or because you had mentioned, oh well, you have to pay to have somebody demo on your or feature on your track. So that blew my mind. Who knew?
Oh yeah, you have to pay all the artists and the musicians who are contributing work or writing work and performing work on your track. Nobody works for free. But yeah, with the music business, I was at a magazine signing for Girls and Corpses magazine where I was in a 6 or 8 page spread of article, interview, pictorial. And Kim Fowley came to the signing, and Kim Fowley was known best for the Runaways, who created the group The Runaways in the 70s, and for launching Joan Jett's career and Lita Ford's career. And I mean, he worked with everybody from the Beach Boys to Motley Crue to artists in the 90s, hip hop artists in the 90s. So I was at the signing and he approached me and asked me if I could sing. And at the time, he had a film coming out that was called The Runaways, that Michael Shannon, who is an Academy Award nominated actor, played him. Kristen Stewart played Joan Jett, and Dakota Fanning played Cherie Curry.
I watched that, yeah.
And he was getting a lot of, publicity and promotion from this film. And so he wanted to create a 21st century Runaways, but he was going to do not a 5-member band. He wanted to do a 9-member all-girl group, and he was going to go all out. It was going to be multi-genre, multi-vocalists, guitarists, pianists, 2 drummers. I mean, we were going balls out. And he asked me if I could sing, and I said, yeah. And he said, let's hear it. So I just belted out Happy Birthday. And then he said, do you like cats? And I said, I love cats. And he said, do you have one? That's absolutely. He said, do you have a picture? And I said, of course I do. Showed him a picture of my kitty. And then he was like, man, it's very nice to meet you, Victoria. And then sauntered on. And I was like, that's weird. And like the 2 days later, I got a phone call. Are you available to come to a recording session? I'd like you to be the lead vocalist of my new group, Black Room Doom. Come at noon, we'll work till 8, you'll be paid, you'll have a lunch break, and you'll get writing and publishing credit on any songs that you write and you'll get publishing as well. And I was like, I am available and I will be there. And so I worked with him straight in the studio 5 to 6 days a week for 2.5 years. And the band didn't go anywhere because almost all bands break up. Everybody wanted to do a solo projects. And so he decided to the hell with the band, and we made this great film that was like the making of Black Room Doom. That was kind of like a Spinal Tap ish, like, because this was like a band that was put together. It wasn't a real band, and
Right.
it never got. He passed away before it could get distribution. It was a shame, and I actually have a DVD copy of the final cut of it, which I'm so grateful. And so he said, "Well, the hell with this. Let's do a solo project." And then he passed away. So I went on.
Oh no. Oh.
So do you find it more challenging to act, to do a film, or is it more challenging to sit down, write, and produce music, an album? A good way to put it.
What's more difficult? Neither of those things are difficult for me. That I'm like a duck in water with both of those. I mean, creating a character, I love to read scripts and to read something on the page that I just have all these ideas, and I know what she looks like, I know how she smells, I know what she wears, I know what her favorite color is, her favorite food. I just love creating that, and I couldn't live without music. Yeah, I don't know none of those things are hard for me. That's heaven.
That's true passion right there, though.
Do you still do ballet at all?
Yes, I do. I take class when I can. Actually, I look forward to going to New York and taking class at Steps again. I had the unbelievable experience of taking class with my hero as a dancer, Gelsey Kirkland, who was an extremely famous dancer, ballet dancer in New York. So I know Gelsey's retired now, as am I, but it would be fun to see her in class again.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Being back home, you'll get that's awesome. That's super awesome. What was the other thing? Oh, did you see my puppy? She's sitting here pushing her. She is pushing her bull.
Hi, baby.
Look.
Oh my God, so cute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to show you my wiener. Yeah. Yeah, she's like, we're stop, Mom. Are you gonna get us some dinner here? So bear with me. Oh, your voice, that's what it was. You were talking about you and the Roger Rabbit guy. I can't remember his name, sorry. And how fun was that? Oh my God, I love Roger Rabbit, sorry, but I'm like a freakish fan of Roger Rabbit.
And Chaz is an amazing guy.
You said, can you imagine us having lunch together? That would be great. With that being said, have you ever done? I'm sorry, I don't really have a whole bunch of time. I eat, sleep, drive. I literally, I made it so that I had enough time to sit still and talk to you.
Yeah.
But so I didn't get a chance to do a whole bunch of research, but have you done, or would you consider voice acting? Because even just your regular speaking voice is so adorable. I'm sorry if that sounds awful, but I can't even imagine you having a bad day. You're always like, always happy. If I have a bad day, I'm going to watch this video so I can hear you. But have you ever considered voice acting?
Yeah, I did. There was a full moon movie. I think it was the mashup between Ginger Deadman versus Evil Bong, and I played an animated character in that called Tart. Where it was just a voice acting job, which was super fun. And I had done a bunch of promos. I was a host on a show called The Chat Lounge that was on the Sky Channel in the UK and Europe many years ago, and I did a bunch of commercials and promos for that on the Sky Channel, which was super fun. I've done some other like commercial voiceover stuff, but I love doing voice acting. I love it.
Now, is that like great? For lack of words, is that like gravy work because you only have to use your voice to act, or? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it like, oh yeah, I'll do that. That's easy.
Yeah, because then I don't have to worry about being on camera, and it's just the sounds. Like I love being a recording artist. Like I only perform my music when asked, because I really consider myself a recording artist, even though I love to perform as an actor and I love to perform live as a dancer. But as far as music, I love to record. I love the studio, and I love just creating the sound that's going to live out there forever. So I love voice acting jobs, and I don't have to worry about being on camera, and it's just my voice.
Now, you are originally from Philadelphia, right?
Just outside Philly, yeah.
Okay, so I've lost my accent. You can hear their accent, but you don't really have much of a Philly accent. Did you have to take any kind of like classes to adjust your accent?
No,
She
but
says,
I have
"Fuck." That's all the Philly accent you need.
I didn't take any classes to lose any kind of accent or dialect, but just to study other accents and dialects to learn how to incorporate these accents into the scripts that I get and how to rewrite your lines and the sentences and the words phonetically so that you can memorize it that way. To learn how to break down each word and why it sounds that way in that dialect. So I did take those classes, which were very beneficial. Any and all actors out there, take dialect classes, take movement classes, take mime classes, take voice classes, do all those things. The more skills you have, the better.
Well, that's awesome. Uh, I think, and then I can't speak. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I think as fast as I drive. Um, voice acting. I can't remember. Say something,
So
guys.
without giving any, I guess, more spoilers away, are you able to tell us if there's anything in the future we can look forward to seeing you in?
Oh yes. There was a film called Chastise that I'm in with Bill Moseley, and they changed the name recently to Gory Hole. So I saw that
Sounds
change
like
and I was like,
porno.
what?
Like a
I was
bad
like,
porno.
I'm not sure about that title. I think the other title was a little bit better, but I'm really looking forward to that. There's also another film that's not listed on the database yet called Blood Magic that I'm very much looking forward to. I play a sorceress, and that's I'm very much looking forward to. And I created a song, an original song, specifically for this film, like I did for American Hun Story. So I'm very much looking forward to that coming out. And I'm really happy that Darkness of Man came out and it's doing so well via Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Woo! Thank you, Sony. So I'm so happy.
I remembered now. When you first went to LA, the first time that you went to like an awards ceremony show and stuff like that, were you like childishly excited? Like, did you call everybody you knew and went, "Oh my God, I'm gonna go do this"? And do you remember that first occurrence? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like your virgin run to it.
I feel like the very first film festivals that I went to that had like press and red carpets and screenings and Q&As afterwards, that was really, really exciting. A film festival in Hollywood. And now all of a sudden I can't remember the name of it now. It'll come to me. I think it was like some Hollywood Fringe Festival or something like that. And during the Q&A, the director was asked to get up and speak. And the first, when they opened up to the audience to ask him a question, a girl raised her hand and said, and his question to him was, who was the hot one in the movie? And it was a character that I had played that was like this really saucy, sassy bitch. And I knew that she was talking about me because I was playing the hot one in that one. And I remember like, oh my God, that was her question. And so I was sitting all the way in the back and I jumped up out of my seat and waved. And I was like, me, Victoria Dwara. And it was so funny. And then the director was like, well, yeah, it's Victoria Demar. She's in the back. Did you have a question for me? And she was like, no, that's all I wanted to know. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, that's awesome. And it was on like the Chinese theater, like right on Hollywood Boulevard, the famous Grauman's Chinese Theater. So it was really exciting.
That is super cool. Now, when you were getting ready to go, how many times did you change your clothes?
Oh my God. I had it like planned out like way ahead of time, like the shoes, the accessories, the wrap that went with it, the jewelry, how I was going to do my makeup and hair. I mean, I had it planned out like days, if not a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance, putting it together if I had to order something. And then I took like 3 hours to get ready. So I didn't have to rush.
And so did you look better or worse than you were hoping? Because being a woman, you're like, oh, I got it all together. Why is this hair doing this? Why? Oh my God, no, wait, now I smeared my damn makeup. No. Oh, wait, are my boobs crooked? No.
Right.
Suck in, push out. Does my butt look good? I mean, I would be, and then I'd be like, no, if I crunch it up like this, no, back down. No, boobs back in, get up here. It's a guys, you don't understand. I don't think you do unless you've watched your wives. No.
Guarantee I don't understand.
I was wearing actually a really low cut dress to that event that came down like way like below my sternum, and I didn't have like boob tape at home to like tape the sides so the boob did come out. And so I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, you got to be on nip duty. So if one of my nipples pops out while I'm doing an interview, please just like pop it back in. You know what I mean? Just put it back where it's. He was like, all right, I'm on the nip detail.
And have you ever been like when you first got to LA and you first got in the business, were you ever starstruck by somebody where you were just, and who was it? If you want to share.
Oh, so many. There were so many people. I was so starstruck in meeting Daryl Hannah when I first moved to Los Angeles. Film called Dancing with the Blue Iguana. I met Peter Green at that time, who started in The Mask with Jim Carrey. Peter and I actually became very good friends for a while. I'm still totally starstruck. So many people. Eric Roberts, when I worked with him, I was so starstruck. And Charles Fleischer, I couldn't even speak until, who plays Roger Rabbit. I was so shy around him, I couldn't even speak him. Or my first scene on set on Hanukkah was shooting a scene together, which was the last scene we had. We shot first. And right after the first take, he was like, "Oh, you're good. You're real good. Oh, this is gonna be fun." And I was like, "Yay, he likes me. He likes me."
Went home.
So I tried to be like, oh, cool, and be like, oh, yeah, be like cool. But like when I went to my dressing room, I was like, he likes me. He doesn't think I suck. Oh my God. Yeah. So I still do. I get so starstruck, completely starstruck.
Now, I'm sure it happens to you. Can you see it when people were starstruck? And do you try your best to make them comfortable, or of course you do, but is there like a trick?
I'm always just flattered, and I'm just like, it's just me. I was like, oh my God, because I know how that feels to be like, oh my God. So it's just like, I think it's I'm like, me? No, me?
Have you ever encountered any creepy fans?
Oh yeah, lots of creepy fans. There was one really amazing fan I was doing a signing at a store called Dark Delicacies in North Hollywood in California, and she had just like wandered in off the street and was like, oh my God, there's a signing here today. It was in Burbank, California, not North Hollywood. And she was like walking around and was like, oh my God, I'm just gonna walk into the signing. And I was like, oh my God, they have actors in here and they're doing like a movie thing, and like walked in and saw the pictures of Batty Boop sitting on my table in front of me, and walked over to the table and was like, oh, and put like her finger on the photo and was like looking at me and looking at the photo and looking at me and looking at the photo. And she was like, are you the actress who plays this character? And I was like, yes, I am. I was like, hi, I'm Victoria DeMar. And she was like, oh my God, I saw this on this movie on the El Rey Network. And she was like, I think you are one of the greatest character actors of all time. And I was like, nice to meet you. Hi, what's your name? Oh my God. It was like the most amazing compliment from the fan like ever. She's like, I can't believe it. I was just walking around shopping and Batty Boop's over here. She like gave me her number. She was like so excited, and she like bought a bunch of stuff. It was so amazing. And then there's some fans that can be creepy at conventions. I had a guy one time, a younger kid, who was like carrying around a scrapbook that he had like all his favorite film actors and actresses in, and he kept bringing it over to the table and putting it down in front of me and flipping to like a 2-page spread he had of me, and I was just so flattered. And we took all these pictures, and then he kept the whole weekend coming around and showing it to me again, and I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. I was like, thank you for sharing this. I can't believe I'm in this and you included me. And we took a picture on Friday, when he came back on Saturday and Sunday, he did like the same thing. And I was like, I know, it's amazing. Thank you so much for this. And we did this yesterday. Remember when we took the picture on Friday when you first got here or whatever? And he just kept like looming around. And I think he couldn't believe that he was actually like in the same room with Betty Boop. It was amazing.
Aw, that's super awesome. That is super awesome. I don't know
What
if
did you
I could
think about
handle
your
that.
figurine?
What's
I
that?
just looked it up last night. Your figurine. It was going for like $60 on eBay. I was checking it out. It did not look like you.
Okay.
It was. I mean, it was still Betty Boop, but it did not look like you.
Well, it's not supposed to look like me. It's supposed to look like Betty Boop. So there you go.
Oh, all right. That's the explanation I was looking for.
It's I think it's a little cheaper at Screamers Costumes. I think it may be $39.95 there. I think at Walmart it's $47.95. I think at Nightmare Toys it might be $34.95. So I think Nightmare Toys might actually be the cheapest place you can get it. Full Moon had it for $15.95, and those all sold out like that. So it's no longer available there.
I don't think it's available anywhere. That's why I was like itching on eBay. It was like my first search result. It was like, there she is.
Well, if you go to my Instagram page or you go to my website, you can click on the Walmart icon and it goes directly to the Walmart page. You can go directly to the Screamers Costumes, Nightmare Toys, eBay. You can go to all the direct places. It's listed right on my website on the store page.
Noted.
So do you ever get a bunch of people like when you do your conventions, do you ever get a bunch of them coming up and dressed as Betty Boop and it kind of just like...
Yes, the cosplayers are amazing. The cosplayers, I've seen people driving around in LA dressed up as Betty Boop. It always just blows my mind. I just can't believe it. People send me pictures that they go out to parties and they go out to bars, like people from Europe. I mean, people from Asia, people from all over the world. It's really unbelievable. And they've got the green wig on and the face on. They've got a boa and they're out with their girlfriends at some bar. It's amazing. I can't even believe it.
Like 2 times, and then like after like the second time, I was like, oh shit, she's naked, like just painted. It took me like 2 times to realize it. I was like, holy shit. I was like,
the CEO of Full Moon, Charles Band, actually didn't realize after we did the first film with Betty Boop in it, Killjoy 3, that I was nude either. He thought that it was a suit, that they had done like a latex suit on me. And I was like, fuck no, man, that's my body, bitch. That's no suit.
yeah, holy fuck. That had to be cold. That had to be cold. Turn the heat up.
It was very challenging to work for 12 hours fully naked. Several consecutive days in a row.
Yeah. No. No. I would be like, okay, get it off. So that I still hold to you're a bad bitch. And I realized I held that up to the camera because we were just talking about that when I was pulling in here. You believed you could, so you did. And it just so happens to be what the drink is, what I wanted to drink. And I was like, isn't that what she just said?
What is that, creamer? Looks like creamer.
I'm sorry?
Is that creamer?
Coffee cup.
No,
coffee mug.
No, it's a bottle. It keeps my ginger ale cold.
Yes, ginger ale. Got my ginger ale right here. Hey.
Ginger ale. Yeah. Now, do you ever like in plain clothes? Because I see you as Betty Boop, and then I know you more this way. But have you ever been like walking through a grocery store and somebody, aren't you? They identify you How do you handle that?
It happened to me one time in a bar that I was literally standing next to a jukebox in a bar, and I heard the two guys that were sitting at the bar next to where I was standing discussing this really ridiculous, funny B movie that they just saw at the Beverly Cinema or whatever in Hollywood about this, like, it was called Werewolf in a Women's Prison. I mean, that just says it all right there. The guy was like talking to his buddy and he was like, this is ridiculous, but it like sucks you in. There's like all these hot chicks, and then one chick gets bitten and she becomes the werewolf and she's taking everybody out. And he was like, and like he was going on and on. He's like, it's playing at Quentin Tarantino's movie theater. You got to go see it. It's ridiculous. It's like a midnight showing. And I hear this guy going on and on about how ridiculous it is, but how much he loved it. And so I just turned to the I chose the song and I was like, so what'd you think of the lead? And just like smiled, and the guy was like, what? Oh my God, where'd you come from? He was like, oh my God, you were in that movie. You were the girl. And I was like, I was the girl. And he was like, oh my God, it was so fucking stupid. It was awesome. He's like, I'm going to go see it again. He's like, have you seen it on the big screen? I was like, I've seen it. And he was like, oh my God, do you ever go to those midnight screenings? And I was like, I've been a couple times. And he was like, holy shit. He's like, he was like, what are the chances? I'm just talking about that movie. And then the actress in the movie is standing right next to me. He's like, can I buy you a drink? It was awesome.
I was going to say, did he at least buy you a drink? Aw, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So what does Batty Boop drink?
Yeah.
I think that night I ordered a Grey Goose Bloody Mary, not too spicy.
For dinner?
Say what?
For dinner.
For dinner.
For dinner. Okay, I was trying to figure out what he said.
I thought you said what's Batty Boop's drink. I said I think that night that's what I had. For dinner. Oh, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I got home right before you guys were going on the air.
Now,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, well, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on here. This has actually been really fun.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't embarrass you guys too much with my fanboyism.
Not at all.
Not
I thought
at
you
all.
had some really good questions.
But on that note,
well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know you know how to contact him. So if you ever just are up in the middle of the night and want to chit chat, you can call me anytime. Get my number off of him.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Awesome. I sent him a list of some skin stuff we were talking about.
I got that. Thank you. I meant to say thank you. I was just really excited about my list of questions.
Oh yeah, your SoundCloud was great. You can find all your stuff there, man. That was very good. I'm still working through them, dude. You have a lot of fucking tracks, and they're good. They're good. So what are you doing now? Like, where are you going forward now? Like, what do you got next? You thinking movies? Thinking music?
Oh yeah, I'm doing everything. I had auditioned for the new Darren Aronofsky film called Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. That would be amazing if that goes through. That would be a massive break for me. It would really change my life.
Good luck. Fuck.
Thank you. It would blow my mind to work with Austin Butler. That would be insane. I have a bunch of different things coming up musically. I'm releasing my first original Christmas song this year called Christmas Time, but it's a throwback. It has a hip hop edge to it, but it has a throwback to the Motown Christmas songs from the 1950s. But it also has that.
What Philly did to you? Philly got you back into Motown.
So I'm really looking forward to that. It also has a little bit of a Detroit edge on it because I worked with it also with Derek Boytovitz, who's Mojo King Wojo, that I met through DMX, who's amazing. And in the spring, I'm releasing my second EP. It'll be a five-track EP, but it's mixing everything from hard rock to pop like singer-songwriter folk rock. So it's mixing a whole bunch of genres, throwing a little hip hop in there, a little vibe, a little edge to it. Called Suck My Dick, my first EP, which is out now, called Welcome to VDMville. That's a 6-track EP that's multi-genre as well. So I'm going to follow that up with Suck My Dick. Righteous Cunt is out on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Righteous Cunt. But soundcloud.com/Victoria DeMar has 21 tracks. It's a nice variety of all 5 of my albums and several songs from films that are out now.
Now, I was going to ask.
Suck my dick and Righteous Cunt. All right, I'm getting the vibe.
I've started. The one thing I can do is I've found you on Amazon, and Look at My Face. I really like that song. Now, you said you write your own stuff, or do you have writers?
I write all my own music. I write it, I co-write it, I produce it and co-produce it. I arrange it. I write the music as well as the lyrics. I engineer, co-engineer, and engineer myself. I do all the female vocals, harmonies, background vocals, lead vocals.
So you layer the vocals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do it all myself.
Because I was noticing that I'm like, I drive a truck. I listen to a lot of music,
Cool.
and I've found a lot of I've learned a lot in listening to a lot. And I was listening, and I was like, I was breaking apart the harmonies, and I was like, that's her, and that's her, and that lower range is her too. And then I'm like, well, maybe not the lower range, because even your speaking voice is high. So you have quite the range too.
Thank you. Yeah, I do all those octaves. And there's a song on the SoundCloud link called Dust that you can stream for free that has almost like a whole choir in it. And when my mother listened to that, she said, well, how'd you pay a choir to do this? I was like, that's not a choir, bitch. That's me. That's all me recording all those different parts and then mixing it together. So I really love doing that and doing all the vocals myself. I've never hired another vocalist on any of my work.
Now,
Yes, not vocalists.
Now, do you play any of the instruments as well? I noticed that it's a lot of keyboard in Look at My Face.
Yes.
Were you playing that as well, or?
Yeah, that track is actually Take Another Look. Yeah, yes, I do. I play the keyboards, a little bit of the guitar there. I play guitar on a couple of the tracks on Righteous Cunt, which is the last album that's out now. So yes, a little bit. I'm expanding more musically. As an instrumentalist, I prefer to use my vocal cords and be a vocalist, and not to be an instrumentalist and play another instrument, but just to use my own chords. That's really my favorite thing about the performing the music, is the singing, and the rest of it, writing it, putting it all together, is just heaven.
So how do you come up with your lyrics? Is it just like you're sitting there and then you just start humming? I mean, there's different approaches for different artists, so that's why I'm asking. Where it's like, oh, well, this reminded me, or I sing about experiences, or you just sit there. Taylor Swift is an example where she says it just pops in her head, and all of a sudden she's writing it down. So
yeah. The music and the lyrics come to me all at the same time. I don't write them separately. Our artists work different ways, as you said. Everything hits me at once, so I record all the melodies, just hum them out and record them, everything that I'm hearing of all the different instruments and how everything's supposed to sound, and the tempo and the beat and everything. And then all the lyrics come to me at once. I'm mostly writing from my own experiences. Most of my songs are either about a specific person or being, because I've written several songs for my cat that were love songs. They can translate to anyone that you love.
Right.
But I've written all different songs about different experiences, and they're mostly reflected of different relationships that I've had, different people. And they can be a sibling relationship, a parental relationship. It can be any kind of relationship. But I'm generally writing about my relationships that I'm having, experiences I'm having.
See,
That's
now
cool.
I think like I could take like my life experiences and like in my head, like I write some fucking banging songs. I write some kick ass songs in my head. But I lack I lack the ability, like I don't know, the talent to put a good tune to it, you know what I mean? I could sit there and I could probably tell you a good story and you'd be like, motherfucker, I will take your story and I'll put it to a good fucking song. So what do I gotta do? What am I missing?
What is it going to sound like? People are strange when you're a stranger. No, I'm kidding.
I can hear
Love
everything
you. Oh, you said your favorite band of all time is Led Zeppelin. Right with you, girl.
When you go through a tunnel or some shit?
Huh?
No, you're not even driving. Yeah, no, but I have like great ideas. I mean, for songs. I mean, they're not songs. Like, what the fuck do I call songs? A 4-minute poem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or a 4-minute story.
You write it
And
all
I feel like
down.
if you're passionate about something,
Yeah.
you could sing about it, or
Yeah.
at least make it into something somebody else wants to listen to.
Yeah. I'd say write it all down and record yourself like reciting it or singing it, and you'll hear some kind of melody or how like the guitar goes or what the beat is. You'll hear it. It'll come to you in your mind. It may take a while. You may have to sit with it for a few days or a few weeks or something. It may not just hit you in 5 minutes. I generally, when a song hits me, it'll come in a dream or something. So I wake up and I have to record everything or write everything down that I remember as soon as I wake up. Or if something hits me where I like a lot of times in my bathroom, I'm putting on my makeup or doing my hair or something like that, and a vocal melody or a line of something will hit me, and I'll be like, oh, that's great. That would make a great song. I'll write that down later, and then I never remember it. So try and just write it down or just record on your phone yourself singing it or reciting it, and it'll come to you.
So you do your best thinking when you're not thinking.
Yeah.
I do that riding down the road. I come up with great ideas for like when I'm at home. There it is. I bought one of these. And you can buy them you can buy them waterproof. Put it by your makeup thing.
Nice.
Yep. I went old school, and that saved my butt. I go home and I write a list of everything that I said on it. So we've talked about your work. In your free time, what are your hobbies? Like, because it sounds to me with your music and with your acting and your moving and your yoga and your dance and your classes. Free time? Do you got any?
Time, I like to take care of animals. I like to do volunteer work and taking care of animals, and I like to watch films. I love movies. They're my favorite thing. Movies and music are my favorite thing in the whole world. So I'm either watching films or listening to music, new music, perusing through YouTube, or listening to something new of a favorite artist of mine may have released, and watching a lot of like old favorites and whatnot. Michael Barton, who was a really popular actor in like the late '90s, early 2000s, he starred in one of Drew Barrymore's films called Never Been Kissed from 1999. And I had met Michael Barton about that time, right when after that film had come out, and I remember like talking to him and being like, "Why are you talking to me like you're the guy who stars in the new Drew Barrymore movie?" And he was like such a super nice, sweet guy, and I found that on Tubi the other night, and I was like, "Oh, what a good one!" So I generally watch 2 to 3 films a day. If I can squeeze 4 in, I'll do it. Partially to enjoy and unwind, but partially also to study the great film techniques, the great cinematography, the script, the way it's produced, the acting, just all of it. Just I like to mostly award nominated or award winning performances, like top of the line stuff. So partially to enjoy and unwind, and partially to study. You can learn a lot from watching.
And now, in you dancer, singer, actor, amazing person.
Thank you.
Loves animals. Okay, so have you? Do you think you'll ever? A lot of actors write books, biographies. Actually, I'm listening to Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights right now. Have you ever considered doing something like that?
Yeah, I actually have a book that I want to publish called In Between, that are all short stories, poems, and unrecorded songs that I've written. So at some point, I would like to publish that. It's not really a memoir, but that is something that I've been putting together for many years that I'd like to eventually put out there.
That would be awesome. And if you write a memoir, I will read it.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah. Memoirs. I am a junkie for celebrity memoirs because they're. It's a world that a truck driver and normal people aren't going to live. You know, I think at one point Steve said, it may have been off camera. You know, you've got to live a lifestyle that most of us can only imagine what it would be like. You're living a fairy tale, and that's awesome. You know, you've rubbed elbows with famous people, and you know you've been in penthouses that we've only seen in movies. You know, you actually know that beautiful house on the other side is only made of cardboard. You know what I mean? That stairway goes nowhere.
Right.
You know, it's you know, you've had an amazing life. Celebrities, you know, dealing with the public and interest. But I gotta answer this phone call, guys, so I'm gonna have to leave for a minute.
She's blowing up.
Well, there's a first.
Where are you?
And that's the traveling truck driver. Yeah. I'm sure she'll be right back. So we've been again, thank you. You've been I mean, just having you on here has been really awesome. I mean, I very much appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been an absolute lot of fun. We are going to do that part of the show now where we call it the final shot.
All right.
So, is there anything you would like to leave our guests with? Parting words.
I would just like to say thank you to anybody who tuned in or watched it live or watched it later on. Thank you. Thank you to all the Batty Boop fans. I love each and every single one of you. Batty Boop is as awesome as she is because of the fans, in my opinion, who love her so much. Check out Darkness of Man, you guys. It's out there. If you have Prime Video, you can rent it or buy it. It's on DVD if you're a collector. I'm a collector, so I always get the DVD or Blu-ray. And my music is out there predominantly for free that you can stream it on YouTube. You can stream it on SoundCloud. If you're a Prime Video member, you can stream your Amazon Music for free. And I'm also on Apple Music as well, Spotify. So check me out. I'm a multi-genre artist, so there might be a track in there you like. And check out my website, victoriademar.com.
Nice.
Noted. We'll make sure we get that on the our website and we spread the word.
Yes, and I will also be adding this show and this interview to my website as well on the press page. And anybody who might be interested in some other interviews, go check it out.
Much appreciated.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Got a final shot there, brother?
Always have a final shot.
Woohoo!
Cheers.
Cheers.
Guys, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank Victoria Demar. If you get the opportunity, look her up on Tubi, YouTube, all those. I highly do recommend Batty Boop. Amazing character. Guys, this was fun. Again, thank you, Miss Demar. And
thank you.
Hopefully here we'll see you guys all again soon. We probably will not be on Sunday, but we will definitely make up for it. We're usually on Sundays and Wednesday nights. Look up Miss Demar on SoundCloud and wherever you see your movies. Guys, this was fun. Have an awesome night, guys.
Thanks, guys.